Happy Wednesday, everyone. We have another great feature for you today. Matt the Little Guy demonstrates how to properly locate and use a multimeter to check your fuses. Check it out.
What's going on, you guys? Little Guy from Truck Wash Show, and I'm going to show you how to save a little bit of money by checking fuses. Here we go. What's going on, you guys? All right, so have you ever had lights go out, radio not working, CB not working, something not working, right? That was working. Well, before you go and put your truck into the shop or go to a dealer, oh my God, I don't know, check your fuses. It might be that simple. First thing you want to do is you want to locate your fuse location where your fuses are. There's multiple locations. There's a fuse box under the hood. There's a fuse box in the cab. There's a fuse box in the sleeper. You got to know your truck. Right now we're looking at the one in the cab. Okay? Took the little panel off, and behind on the panel you'll have a diagram that shows you what fuse and or relay does what. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to ohm out check resistance on a fuse. It's the fastest way to check fuses. That way you don't have to sit there with the little thing and pull the fuse out, put it back in, look at it. No. We're going to do a simple resistance test, basically. All right? So I'm going to turn the camera around and show you real quick. All right, you guys. This is very simple stuff. You can get almost any multimeter to do this, okay? You get it. Cheapest multimeter. You can even do this with a test light, okay? But right now we're using a multimeter with the two standard leads. We have it set in the ohm setting here on the multimeter with the sound. So we're going to check to make sure that there's no open circuits. Basically, we're making sure that there's no blown fuses. And what you do is the first thing you do is turn your multimeter on. Okay, let me just show you here. You just turn it to that setting right there. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you a beep noise if you have a good, clean connection. Now, if we have a broken connection, let's say like one of these leads had a broken wire in it or something like that, we would not get that beep, okay? So this is how you make sure, the first thing you do once you've located your fuse panel and all that good stuff, and you're going to locate the fuse you want to test, you want to make sure your multimeter is working properly. Okay? Now that we know the multimeter is working properly, we're going to check our fuses. Now, in most cases, a little fuse box will have a little plastic needle nose looking thing to yank your fuses out and check them. Well, if you don't want to yank fuses out and your hands are, it's too, there's a lot going on here. You can get zapped in some cases if you're not careful, because you got a lot of wires in here rubbing back and forth. Sometimes you get a short, and that might be why that circuit, radio, that light, that fan broke in the first place. So you got to be careful when you go sticking your hand into a live fuse panel. That's why we're going to check the fuses with this. It's very simple and it's very safe. All you got to do is check your fuses. And if you got a good fuse, you'll get a beep. See that? You just touch both edges, touch both ends of the fuse. That's where the connection, the electricity is going. It's going from one end to the other. Okay? So if this fuse is blown, this thing is not going to beep. And it's beeping. Check the other one here. See? It's beeping. Another way to do this, obviously, is to pull the actual fuse out. Now, to visually inspect the fuse, all you have to do is look through it. You'll see that little metal U-shaped, that's the fuse in there. That's the piece of metal. And basically the way a fuse works is if there is too much voltage and amperage going to this circuit, it's going to get hot and it's going to pop and break that little piece of metal. And what that does is once that piece of metal breaks, it says, hey, you're sending way too much amperage. You're pulling too much out of me. I can't handle it. And it breaks and it cuts the circuit and it stops the electricity from flowing to whatever device you're running or whatever circuit you're on. But sometimes it's hard to see these things. You know, you're looking at it, it's got crappy lighting, you can't really tell if it's burnt up or it's broken in there. So this is where the multimeter comes in play. You just take the fuse out, put one of the leads on one end, like this, one of the leads on the other end. And you got that beep. That means you got a good, clean circuit. So there you have it. That's the easiest way to check fuses fast. You know, if you can't get your little fingers in there and you don't have a tool to get it out or one of those little plastic, you're really not supposed to use these because they're metal. And if you go and stick metal into a fuse box and you hit the wrong thing, and you can have a bad day. But be careful, obviously. Use the plastic one if they have it. But if you don't have the plastic one and you can't get your little finger in there, carefully pull the fuse out and check it. But if you want to do it fast without pulling the fuses out, get a multimeter, get a test light. That way you can just check your circuits, check your batteries, and always make sure you have extra bulbs, extra fuses, extra glad hand seals in your toolbox, because you never know when you might blow a fuse. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Little Guy Truck Boss Show. See you later.
That's it for today's feature. Tune in Friday for another great story.